Alright, so we got some parts in this week for the motorcycle build, so I thought I'd share them with you. Because it's exciting. It's like Christmas. So we got a nice big box here from eBay. We also made a trip to Harbor Freight, and the big thing that you're probably not realizing is that this table is a motorcycle lift from Harbor Freight. So I'm going to do a whole separate video, an unboxing video on this guy. So take a look for that if you're in the market for a Harbor Freight motorcycle lift. So some of the stuff I also got while we were at Harbor Freight was some zip ties. You always need zip ties, especially when you're doing some wiring on a motorcycle. So we got those. Also in the wiring for motorcycle categories, some shrink tubing, electrical shrink tubing. And it comes in a variety of sizes and whatnot from Harbor Freight. So we got a little pack here to get us started at least. And then off of Amazon we got, so some of you may recognize these. These are bar end turn signals. They go in on the end of the handlebars, and then you've got this little concentric sort of light that lights up on the end here. So pretty neat concept. These are kind of like knockoffs from the Moto Gadget. I don't know who came out with these first, but Moto Gadget makes some really nice ones, and these are kind of the cheap version of those. These are like 10 bucks on Amazon, so we'll see how they work out. Alright, then we also got a clutch tool. So this has sort of been delaying our engine teardown, is that we didn't have the right tool to take the clutch apart. Now we do. So this is our little clutch tool. This is also off of Amazon. It's a 22 millimeter and 24 millimeter combined socket. You can use a socket extension and go right through the attaches in the middle here. Now we can take the clutch apart, and from there we should be able to take the rest of the engine and break it down and see what's going on with that crank. So clutch tool, that's key for our build there. I've also got a metal thickness gauge tool. So you can see this guy has got the little teeth on the side here, and these teeth, when you slot some metal in there, will tell you what gauge that metal is. So when you're welding, this is a welding tool, and this will help you know how to set your welder. So me being new to welding, I thought this would be really super handy. You can also use, and what I've been using is calipers to measure the metal and then look up what gauge that is. And this is just a little bit quicker and easier. And so let's see what gauge this table is. So this table looks to be 14 gauge. So the motorcycle lift from Harbor Freight is 14 gauge. And then our big package here, drum roll. This is an exciting part of the build. This is actually a part for the bike. So I did my calculations on my suspension the other day. And so this is our shock, our rear shock. There it is. Here's our shock. And I got it with a bunch of the linkage mechanism still on there, which may or may not be helpful in our build. We'll see if this stuff is usable or not. I'm anticipating, I'm hoping that at least this piece right here will be usable. I'm not sure about the rest of it, this dog bone here, if that will be usable, etc. But this is off a CBR 600 F4i. It's got the external reservoir, which is nice. And then it's got some adjustability right here. There's also some adjustability on this reservoir. And then of course, adjustability right here in terms of some of the preload on the spring. This should be a nice little shock for our bike. I'm stoked to have it. So that's our parts for today. That's what we got so far. There'll be a bunch more coming for this build, and I'll let you know how that goes. So far in this build, we have spent, in case anyone's interested in price, the bike, 600 bucks. Licensing on the bike, $95. This shock and all the linkage shipped, $47. A pair of these bar end turn signals, $10. This little tool here, $9. This shrink tubing, that's like $5. The zip ties, that's $2. So those are things that are actually going to go on the bike, and so I'm not going to count this little tool here. So that's where we are for parts this far. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate your support, and I would appreciate if you subscribe to this channel and help make us great. And I apologize that I'm sick. It's part of living in this northern climate, which is new to me, so.